Welcome to the Elite Real Estate Agents of SEQ podcast, where I sit down with some of the most successful and respected real estate agents working right here in one of Australia's most beautiful and sought-after regions, Southeast Queensland. This podcast gives you a genuine, behind-the-scenes look at who these agents are as people, what makes them stand out in the industry, and most importantly, can help you decide if they're the right fit to guide your property journey. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the conversation. You might just be listening to the perfect person to sell your property. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Elite Real Estate Agents of Southeast Queensland podcast. Now, today's guest, who I've got here in the studio with me today, is Brad Scott, Principal of Smart Real Estate. And he truly exemplifies what it means to be an elite agent in Southeast Queensland. With nearly 2 decades in the industry, Brad has built a reputation for delivering exceptional results and personalised service. He made an immediate impact in his very first year in real estate, being named Rookie of the Year back in 2007 after selling almost 30 properties in a single month, which to me is just outstanding for somebody in their first year. And he hasn't slowed down since. Brad and his agency have gone on to achieve national recognition, including Open Agent of the Year National, Open Agent of the Year Queensland, Open Campaign of the Year Queensland, and Open Agency of the Year Queensland, and that's competing against more than 4,000 agents across the country. Known for his innovation, integrity, and results-driven mindset, Brad continues to set standards through Smart Real Estate with strong focus on delivering tailored property solutions and building lasting relationships. So let's dive into the story behind the agent, the guy behind the sold sign. I was going to say the for sale sign, but let's say the sold sign, and discover what makes Brad Scott one of Southeast Queensland's elite. Brad, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Adam. That was a great intro.
Yeah, geez, it's
a bit of a mouthful.
A bit of a mouthful. Now I can relax and we can just have a chat. Mate, look, this is all about us finding out about you as a person and
Yep.
You know how you go about being so successful as a real estate agent. So give me a bit of your backstory. Where did it all start? I know you actually started in banking, wasn't it?
Yeah. So about 20 years ago, I was down in Victoria. Finished my university degree in finance. I was selected second out of about 1,100 that applied for a position at the National Australia Bank in business banking.
Wow. Okay. Yep.
And so, yeah, that was quite good. Did that for a short period. Really enjoyed it. It was more of a sales role. Then decided to move to the Gold Coast, and that was more of a relationship management.
Sure.
Which was a bit like property management, not really for me.
No. Sales was in the blood.
Yeah, I love sort of sales. So decided to leave the bank, started up a business with my uncle back in 2007, where Little Truffle is, a restaurant on the Gold Coast Highway, Mermaid Beach.
Oh, I know that one, just on the corner there.
Yep. So that used to be our office.
Really?
And we had sort of a low commission type model at the stage.
Yep.
And it wasn't really, didn't have longevity as a business. So I decided to leave, set up my own company when I was about 27, I think, at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And been going now for almost 20 years.
Wow. So you never had that apprenticeship type scenario with a big banner agency or anything like that?
No, it didn't really interest me.
Nope.
I always want to I saw the big franchise groups as a model where they have systems which I think are good, but I wanted to be creative. I wanted to be different. I wanted to step outside the square, have that creative control, which a lot of the large agencies don't have.
Yep.
So being an independent allowed me to sort of do things my way and have a lot more control over the creative and what we wanted to do and be in the marketplace.
Sure. So tell me a bit more about Brad Scott outside of work, outside of being a real estate agent. What are you into? What are your interests?
So probably foremost, I'm a father,
Yep.
so that's probably my biggest thing.
Two kids?
Yeah, I've got 2 kids to my wife, Junko.
Yep.
I've got one with my ex,
Sure.
who's 21, Emily. Sarah and Dylan, they're both at Emmanuel, both doing really well, very heavily into sport. So they're both at state level in swimming, which is good. I used to be a state swimmer myself.
Yep.
Back in the day, so we sort of wanted to get them into that. They love it, enjoy it.
Does that mean those 5 o'clock, those 4:30 morning starts? Is that still what swimmers do?
They were up training this morning at 4:30. They're up.
Wow.
And by the time I sort of get up around 5:30, they're done. So
wow.
They're early. And Sarah, we just got back yesterday actually from a 4-day event.
Yep.
Up at the sunny coast. Sarah was luckily enough to be in the state age championship for Southport Carrara.
Yep.
In the 13 blue team. So they did really well, competed they did 20 games over 4 days and got third in the state.
Wow. Fantastic result.
And missed out by 1 point getting second. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. So do you still swim yourself now?
Yeah. So I swim every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Do about 100 laps in the pool.
Wow. Okay.
And at Emmanuel in the heated pool. So try and consistently do that and sort of go walking and go to the gym of a night time. And used to do paragliding a few years ago and had a big accident and sort of crashed and was in hospital for about 6 months. Broke both my arms, my back, my right leg in 2018 and had to learn to walk again.
Wow.
And it was a big...
That would be a life-changing experience.
Yeah, it was. Sort of reframes you sort of what's really important in life, I guess. And for me, I think it was good. It was a very traumatic experience, probably more so for my wife and kids than myself.
Yep.
But I think for me, it's got me to focus more on spending quality time with the kids especially. And, spending time watching them play sport, which my dad was a workaholic and he sort of never really came and watched me play sport.
Yep.
And I understand why. But as a kid, sometimes you don't get that.
No, you don't. And I've got 2 kids who play sport as well, and there's something special about your parents coming and being there and watching what you do.
It's super important.
I mean, it's actually flipped around for me now, Brad. I play old man's cricket. I play over 50s cricket, and I want the son to come and watch me, and he's too busy, and
he's probably on the iPad or something.
Yeah, that's right. So, all right. So before we do sort of delve more into the business and career side of things, what would you be doing if you weren't a real estate agent?
Early on, back 20 years ago, my original plan was to be an architect.
Right.
Did a lot of work experience doing that, and then sort of went over to America, had a bit of a gap year from, I was originally looking at doing architecture, then I went into civil engineering at University at Monash in Melbourne. Didn't enjoy that. Went on a break year, went over to America, lived in Aspen for 2 years.
Okay.
Was doing ski instructing.
Okay.
And worked in a...
That would have been a good experience.
Yeah, met a lot of celebrities.
Really?
Yeah.
Drop a couple of names. Go on.
Day one, where I met Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn.
Yep.
Day one. But yeah, I was there for like 2 years. Antonio Banderas lives there. He was a really cool guy. Worked with Mel Gibson's kid. But yeah, like we had Bill Clinton come in. Worked at Will Smith's party. It was it was Leanne Rimes, Britney Spears. It was a lot of people. So they all go there and relax, and
that's where they go.
Yeah, biggest thing I sort of learnt early on was that end of the day they're all just people.
Yep.
So they're just like
it's
you and
what
me.
You forget, I think, a bit, don't you, when you just see them from afar and see that they are just people.
Yeah, it's like you sort of see these people on the big screen and stuff like that, and Sir Richard Branson, who I'd read all his books, and I talked to him, and he could literally just be like one of your mate's stats.
I remember, and I can't remember who it was, but I did meet someone one day, and they introduced themselves just as their first name, and you're sort of thinking, You don't have to do. I know who you are.
Yeah.
But they still do. They're just people, aren't they?
That's it.
So, wow, that would have been a really interesting experience. So I've got a question here. Is there anything throughout your life, an experience that has helped shape what you do in your career?
Yeah, so I think, sort of it's a mixture. You sort of look at your path and where you go, and I think through a combination of liking real estate and that technical drawing and architecture, to sort of like when I was in America, I was actually met a few guys in Chicago who are a bit like the Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort.
Right. Yep.
And I spent some time with them in Chicago, had some very good times.
Yep.
Bit like Jordan.
Okay.
And which I won't go into, but I liked that when I was 20.
Yep.
And then I came back, and then I was going to go into stockbroking. So that's why I did a degree in finance. And then when I finished it, I was sort of looking at it and saying, well, is that the sort of person I want to be 10, 20 years from now?
Long term, yep.
Yeah, because these guys were, a lot of them were burning out in their early 40s.
Yep.
Bit like sport.
It's got to take its toll if you look at that movie.
They were
Yep.
go, go, go.
Mm.
And for me, I wanted something that was fulfilling, something that was money and real estate orientated.
Yep.
And I think real estate was just the natural choice, and I got into it and I loved it, and I've been doing it ever since, and I still get up and I enjoy every day.
Yep.
It's something I'm passionate about, and so.
Cool. Tell us about Smart Real Estate. Tell us how it's grown, how it's evolved,
Yep.
what it looks like today.
Yeah, so we've been around since we were incepted in 2007. We started off in a small home office in Royal Pines, and it was myself and Julie and Wayne. And Wayne's been with me pretty much for the whole time, for about 18 years, up until he just retired at age 74, just last Christmas.
Yep.
So learned a lot with Wayne, had a lot of good times with Wayne. And we subsequently then moved into we expanded. We went into an office in Chevron Island, and we had it was a 2-story building. We had the downstairs building with sales and rentals in there for a few years, and then we sort of grew quite quickly. Then we took the upstairs part of the office as well, and we've been there for
Long
about
time.
15, 16
Yeah.
years.
Yep.
And, we've had people come and go over the years, and a lot of good memories and a lot of ups and downs. And I think at the busiest, we had about 20-odd people, employed there. We've sort of scaled back down a little bit. Now we've just bought a new waterfront office on Ferry Road in Southport, which we're currently renovating.
Yep.
Going through that process of turning a residential property into a commercial property, and sort of
Big
getting
job.
learning a lot. I've done probably about a dozen renos on residential.
Yep.
Through my career. Much easier to deal with, but with commercial, it's learning a lot of lessons with certifiers and energy efficiency reports and traffic engineers and
all the fun stuff.
Yeah. So it's it's good. We're getting that all ready, and then we're going to look to for the next 20 years and expand again, and looking at getting some new sales guys in there, and move forward.
Continuing to build. Fantastic. Yep. Now, we've obviously spent a bit of time together on your podcast before, and so we have talked about this, and it's how I know about it. But obviously the two standard models that most people understand are out there for selling properties are your private treaty sale
auction,
and your auction.
Yep.
But there's a third one, isn't there?
There is.
Which I didn't know about before I met you.
Yep.
And I'm sure a lot of people out there don't know exists. And this is the open offers method of sale, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, mate, explain it to us, because I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, so essentially what it is, in a nutshell, is it's a hybrid of the two methods. Because I think with both auction and private treaty, with the legislation, there are some pros and cons to both. I was probably more a private treaty agent throughout my career. I've done a lot of auctions, haven't had a lot of success with it.
Yep.
I sort of got a bit put off by it. I know some agents are very pro and I understand why they do it, but I'm always trying to think, well, how can I be innovative? How can I be different? How can I add value to my client?
Yep.
And do something and deliver a result that is, phenomenal is probably a good word, but, for me, it's like, I think agents are very different and you have different sets of skills and expertise, experience, energy. And for me, it's like, how can I get my client an extra $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 that other agents I know can't get for them?
Yep.
And that's where all my mindset is always constantly there. But also at the same time, we've got to be fair and transparent to buyers on the other side of the transaction. And open offers just really was instrumental. Like as soon as I saw it, I was like, wow, like, you can sort of be transparent. You can be open like an auction. Like you can see people sitting there sort of bidding.
It blew me away because it's basically a transparent online auction where you're seeing
it's an online private treaty process.
And it's over the period of time. It starts from the time of listing and up until
So we normally do a 14-day campaign as a rule, and you'll see offers coming in day one, and it sort of will build up slowly. Sometimes it goes a bit faster. And at the end of the 14 days, it's great for if you've got a tenanted property, because tenants don't want open homes for months and months and months. They get pretty frustrated pretty quickly. Also for owner occupiers, like they don't want to be put out for months, having to clean the house up and leave for 30 minutes on a Saturday morning. So I just say, look, how about if we just do 2 Saturdays and I will bring you, pretty much 95% of the market have multiple offers on the table. They'll be conditional and unconditional offers. You'll see transparently from day 1 through to day 14 where the offers are at. There's no reserve price, so you're not obligated to sell at any stage. And then at the end of the 14 days, you can pick and choose any offer. It doesn't have to be the top one.
Yep.
If somebody's a little bit lower,
based on conditions,
cash unconditional, they're 10 grand lower, you can take that offer, you can take no offer. It's very flexible. It's very, communication's great with the tenant, with the buyers and the owners. And I just like the transparency of it's probably the biggest.
That's the one thing that really grabbed me, that there's no, with the other two methods, there is an element of a little bit of smoke and mirrors, and it's just the way it's set up.
Yep.
But there is nothing with this. It's everyone knows what's going on from day one right through till the final siren when
I don't criticize other agents. I think
they have their place. That there's pros and cons to both of those. But what is great is that it sort of takes away those. This
it's sort of like the legislation sort of stipulates that an auction, we can't legally talk about price or give price guides, or we can't give price comparables, which I think maybe is a little bit silly to a certain degree. Like buyers kind of want to have a bit of a guide or a bit of an idea. So that's one of the big changes in the auction space. With private treaty, once you've got 2 or more offers, which I would on probably 95% of my sales, you have to do a multiple offer situation where you get to put in your best and final offer.
One go.
One chance, and it's blind. And obviously I can't tell you what the other offer is, because that would be gazumping and giving that disadvantage to the other person. And I say, well, I wouldn't do it to you, so I won't do it to that person, to be fair to all parties. But the problem with that is at the end, we'll generally call the second buyer and say, oh, sorry, unfortunately you missed out.
Yep.
And it might be like $5,000 or $10,000.
Yep.
And then that second buyer says, but we can go another 50 if we have to. I'll give you another 20 now, and let's just do the deal. And I'm like, well, you told me that was your best and final.
Yeah,
the deal's done.
It's inherently like that, and that's what you're dealing with, and which is what is so great about open offers. All right, let's talk some numbers.
Yep.
Can you estimate how many properties you've sold across your career, roughly? Total.
I'm not a big numbers
not a big
guy.
Stats.
Yeah, not big on stats. Like for me, some agents are great at forecasting and planning and stuff like that. For me, I'm just like go every day.
Yep.
I'm just like, if I can sell 50 this year or 80 or 100 or 120, I'm just go. But on average, I'd be probably getting up around sort of 1,000 properties sold over the last 20 years.
Wow. Okay. And an average year is?
Anywhere from like 50 to 80,
Okay.
depending on the year, property. So
Your average median price that you're selling
median sale
generally?
price generally sort of between that $1 and $3 million price point.
Have you got a landmark sale with a big price tag?
Oh, look, I don't. I used to focus on the big ego-driven sales, the $10, $15, $20 million homes when I was younger.
Yep.
But I soon realised and was smart enough to sit back and go, you know, and there are some agents that focus on that and love that and are very, look at me.
Yep.
You know, for me, you know, if you look at a histogram and you look at how many transactions take place in that 5 million plus market, there's not many that take place. And on the flip side too, the one bedroom cheap ones, there's not a lot. So I sort of focus, well, you know, where is most of the people, where are the mums and dads, you know, buying, you know, your 4-bedroom houses in the burbs, you know, those prices are now between 1 and 3 mil.
Yep.
And that's where we like to focus ourselves, not on doing the $10, $20 million sales.
Sure.
Because you hear about the good stories, you don't hear about the 10 that they don't sell.
Sure.
My, direction sort of changed as I've matured and got older. So,
do you have a sale that stands out? Do you have a favourite sale that you can think back to over the years?
I've got a few for different reasons, but results based one quickly. We had a 3-bedder apartment, sort of like in one of the towers, well-known towers in Surface, and one of the top agencies on the Gold Coast was selling it for 90 days. Needed a little bit of work. The seller said they wanted at least 1.4 million. The highest offer this other agency was able to bring was 1.3 over that 90-day period.
Mm-hmm.
They did a great marketing campaign. He said, look, you know, Brad, we've heard about you and what you do differently. We want to get 1.4 or we won't sell it. Do you think you can help? And I said, look, you know, if you're with a bad agent, I probably could, but to be fair, they're probably one of the best agencies on the coast, apart from us. But I said, look, I'll give it a crack. It's going to cost about $5,000 in marketing. I'm not making any promises. I want to manage your expectations. Then we subsequently it was holiday let, and we weren't allowed to actually show the property because they were blocking us from showing it.
Wow.
The holiday managers, because they didn't want us to sell it. That's sort of what happens, unfortunately.
Yep.
So long story short, we basically were able to get a 2-hour window to get in there between cleaners and new holiday tenants getting in there. We did 3D tours, videos, floor plans, photos, drones, everything. We did a 6-day campaign on that property. We didn't show a single person through it. We ended up selling it for $1,780,000.
Wow.
In 6 days with not one person through. All online, all the marketing. And
was that open offers?
Open offers. And, you know, we said to the buyers, they said, can we get in and have a look? I'm like, unfortunately, the manager has booked it out for 3 weeks and essentially is blocking us from getting in. But we had, with the 3D tour, it's a bit like Google Street View. You can, it's the next best thing to physically inspecting it. And we had multiple, I think we had about 6 or 7 different buyers fighting it out. And price went for 1.78, which was just mind-blowing to me.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Mind-blowing. All right, maybe at the opposite end of the scale, a listing that didn't go to plan. Is there any stories you've got there that something unexpected maybe?
Unexpectedly. I don't really focus too much on the negatives and the ones that don't work. It's pretty rare. There's not a lot that don't go well.
No.
But, you know, there's always the odd one or two. Look, I say to clients, you know, at the end of 6 weeks, generally, you get a 98% know where the value of your home is. And I say, if you haven't accepted an offer by the 6th week, which is about halfway through our 90-day exclusive, you're probably not going to sell. And I say, it's not my fault.
Nope.
I've done my job. You just want too much.
Yep.
And you'll have heaps of options and heaps of offers there for you to choose from. And if you so choose not to accept any of those offers, that's totally fine. You know, we will have, you know, maybe 2 or 3 of those a year.
Do you ever not accept a listing because of a client's expectation? Question without notice?
Yeah, there are some.
There are some. It does happen?
Yeah, yeah. There's. Well,
you don't want to waste your time, do you?
Look.
Or theirs.
Yeah, look, I mean, for me, the biggest thing right now is my time and the amount of time we invest into a property. It's people think it's easy and it's quick. We will compress a 90-day campaign into 2 weeks, and we'll be running multiple properties at any one point in time. So we have to be selective on who we take on. So each week I'll meet with potentially 10 sellers on average, and I'll handpick maybe to work with 3 or 4 of them. There would be 6. And I say to them up front, I say, look, as much as this is an interview for you, I'm also interviewing you.
Yeah.
Because, you're selecting different agents. I've got to select my clients because, it's got to be a two-way. We're working together as a team here.
That's it. And there needs to be that synergy that...
we need to work together. And we need to have that mutual respect for each other. And I say, look, you own the football team. I'm the coach.
We need to get along.
We need to work
and have
together.
The same goals. And I love that analogy.
And I say, look, if I think we're going to butt heads,
Yep.
Or I think your expectations just not realistic, at the end of today's meeting, I'll just say, look, I don't think I'm the right agent for you, and vice versa. If you don't think I'm the right agent, please let me know. No hard feelings.
Yep. And that's a little bit about, we've talked about the different styles of agents, the different approaches, and that's a little bit about what this podcast is all about, meeting the people, behind, because you all have your personalities, you all have your fit, and you're not going to be right for everybody.
No, definitely
but
not.
You're going to be perfect for the perfect people, and hopefully this can go a long way to people sort of getting a bit of a feel for that. But we've come to our quick fire round. I'm going to throw 5 quick questions at you.
Yep.
Okay, short, sharp answers. First things that come to mind. Okay, here we go. 1 word to describe your negotiation style.
Excellent.
3 words your clients would use to describe you.
Hardworking, diligent, and a great communicator.
Biggest myth about real estate agents.
We're all the same.
Weirdest thing you've seen in an open home that you can say.
I won't say that one. I've had some unique characters who have had some very strange questions. Yeah.
Okay. If your real estate career was a movie, what would it be called?
I don't think it would be Wolf of Wall Street or anything, but yeah, success.
Great. Top tip, overall tip for homeowners when selling?
Yeah, biggest tip, just go with your gut. Interview 2 or 3. Look at their different proposals and strategies and just choose the one that you think is going to get you the most money.
Perfect. Final question. If someone is listening to this right now or watching on YouTube and they're considering, using you as their agent, what would you say to them?
Give me a call, book an appointment. I'd love to sit down and have a chat and show you what we do and how we do it differently and see if we can help you.
Fantastic. Excellent. Brad Scott from Smart Real Estate, thank you so much for joining me on the Elite Real Estate Agents of Southeast Queensland podcast. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks, Adam.
Thanks so much for joining us on this episode of Elite Real Estate Agents of SEQ. If today's guest sounded like the right agent to help with your next move, please reach out. You'll find all their details in the show notes and episode description. And if you're a real estate agent interested in being showcased on the podcast, visit www.podproaustralia.com.au to learn more and register your interest. If you enjoyed the podcast, we'd love it if you could like, share and rate the podcast and let us know in the comments if there's an agent you've dealt with and you think they should be featured next. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.